All right, welcome back. We are going to be talking about marketing mistakes now. And there are two different lessons that will focus on marketing mistakes, but it's important for us to talk about this because we have established the importance of marketing for driving business, right? And when it's done correctly, it does increase our sales and it does improve our customer relationships. And this is why it is important to avoid common mistakes that people make when marketing. Learning from the mistakes of others will improve your marketing always, all the time. Now, one very important mistake, and I've talked about this in I think pretty much all the courses so far, is not taking social media seriously. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I used to be one of the evangelists for social media just being an unserious place, right? I always used to say, I just don't have time for social media. It's just not me. It's just not for me. Um, I'm just not interested. And boy, do I regret that because I could have. There's so many things I could have done by now if I took social media seriously, um, many years ago. Now we are in such an age where you cannot not have an online presence. You cannot afford not to have an online presence. I promise you that. Because I use the example of using a dating site and really matching with someone. I've never used a dating site, but let's say you swipe left or you swipe right and you get matched. And then you suggest to the person, oh, let's go for dinner. And then the person says, sure, why not? But then they get a little curious and they're like, oh, I let me just, do a little research on this person. And they go to your profile and it's completely blank. There's no single information about you. Or they Google you and nothing comes up. What that says now in our day and time is that there's something mysterious about you. It just awakens mystique. It's like this person has to be a very weird person. This person, I don't think you can be trusted. That's the world we live in today. If you don't have an online presence and you want to build relationships and you want to do business and you want to get clients and you want to serve people, mistake number one. It's so essential. Social media is now very essential for everything. Even if you are a pastor trying to reach people, doing ministry, doing nonprofit, serving people, you cannot not have that presence online. It's essential to your marketing success. It will have dire consequences for you if you do not have one. So please, if you are one of those people who used to be like me, he used to be like, I don't, social media is just a waste of time. Please, it is no longer a waste of time. It's a necessity. There are several common mistakes that marketers make when it comes to social media, and you actually need to be aware of these mistakes in order to avoid them. Number one, as I've already mentioned, without social media, you cannot maintain contact with your clients. You cannot. You just cannot. It is completely impossible. So it's important, it's necessary to have that online presence. Another thing is another mistake that you could make when you're setting up your social media is to set it and forget it. Social media needs to be updated and monitored carefully. This requires careful planning, of course, and especially if you're a bigger business, bigger organization, you also want to manage your reputation on social media. There's so many things that come into play. So you cannot just say, okay, Tina has said to build a social media profile, so I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put a photograph there and write a tiny little headline, and that's it. And then you leave it like that for the next 5 months. No, you have to keep it updated. You have to keep it monitored. You have to see how people are engaging with you or engaging with your service. You have to check your DMs. You cannot not check your DMs. Okay. Another thing is another mistake that you can make on social media as a service provider, as a business owner, is to have one sided communication. That's mistake number 3 when it comes to social media, because not responding to your customers can harm your customer relationships. So when people comment, when people send you DMs, when people engage, please respond to them. It creates the impression that you are not only interested in selling, right? Because not responding is to them your way of saying, just give me money. I'm not interested in your questions. I'm not interested in building a relationship with you. And if that's going to be your move, it's better not to even get on social media. Don't do it. Because it's worse to have one-sided communication than to, like, it's worse to not, to have one-sided communication than to not have a social media account. It's better for you not to have a social media account, okay? And another thing that could hurt you, and a lot of us have made this mistake at one point or the other, I'm not excused from this mistake, is inconsistency. Because if you lack inconsistency, you will create doubt in the minds of your clients. And so I have been preaching this in our brand building and storytelling workshop. Please keep showing up. There's so much power in that. And we, of course, delve deeper into the fact that it's not just about showing up. It's about showing up with the right message and showing up with the right value, and just making sure that that message stays elevated with your brand pillars that you could continue to talk about, but still arrive at the same message. Right? So consistency is not just about showing up. Okay, let me just show up. Let me just post something, anything. No, it's about showing up with the right message all the time. And we talked a lot about branding and how there are just so many myths to what branding is. And I did explain that, so I'm not going to go deep into it. So catch the branding course, which is the Art of You, if you haven't already taken that one, or you join the storytelling brand building workshop. That one's fun. I actually love that one. People always get excited for that one. Okay, so another thing that is a huge mistake when it comes to marketing that lots of marketers make is not having a USP, which is a unique selling point. Every company needs to have one. And this is the message that shows customers or potential clients how your product is unique and how it will satisfy their needs and bring them the desired outcome. Not having a USP is a common marketing mistake. Fortunately, you can create a USP by answering a few basic questions. Like, what are the unique factors of your brand? What are the unique factors of your service or your product? What factors separate you from the competition? What factors are important to your customers? The answers to all these questions are used to create a message or a USP. And the final step is actually choosing the correct media to share that unique selling point. Right? Now, let's talk about cross-cultural and international translations. Conducting business on an international level has its own risks, and the risk comes with the translation of names and content. And the problem can come from mistranslations or colloquial meanings attributed to words only once they are translated. And translations may be offensive or inaccurate. For example, the Italian mineral water trafficante means drug dealer in Spain. So cross-cultural translations can limit the effectiveness of a campaign. Even if the mistakes are corrected, the process is costly because then it now becomes a reputation management process that you have to undertake, or crisis communications. So that's another mistake. Making sure that cross-cultural and international translations, that's another mistake that happens with marketing. So one way to mitigate that is to make sure that those translations are correct. And sometimes they can translate to something crazy, a totally different meaning in another culture, right? So be mindful of that. Another big mistake that lots of marketers make is not building relationships. Marketing will never ever be successful unless you manage to build a relationship with your customer. We've been talking about this. I cannot hammer it enough. You have to build relationships with your customers, because without a relationship, it is not possible to earn trust. And in our fast-paced society, building relationships is not always the focus of marketing, because everyone's like, oh, I just want to get that sale. I just want to get that sale. So I don't have time to build relationships. And it's another reason why people will be commenting and people will be sending you DMs and you're not responding. Relationships are essential, and they can only be created by interaction and dialogue. And there are ways to build relationships. You could do that in person. You could get to know the customer. You can have conversations with them. You could keep regular contact. You can also do it online, digitally, meaning you could organize coffee chats. You could get on Zoom. You could dialogue through social media, answer question and answer sessions. You can collaborate. Do collaborative articles. You can respond to emails. You can treat each other as individuals with respect, right? Right. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part that still continues to talk about common marketing mistakes. All right, see you in the next lesson.